It's there because it's a long film and there is an intermission that will hit right at the halfway mark. And I bring that up because last week, as part of the encore screening, in this theater, they forgot to load part 2. So we had about 200 people come see the film. They saw part 1 and then they didn't see part 2. But the good news is, and this is Ashley over here from AMC. Can we have a round of applause for Ashley? Both part 1 and part 2 will play, correct, Ashley? Oh my God! And it's going to be loud tonight, correct, Ashley? Yes. So this film is an epic. As I say, there is an intermission. There is 15 minutes of intermission, so you've got more than enough time to stretch your legs, go out and walk around. If someone completes timing, and if it gets to 16 minutes, you have the option of rioting. Now, don't do it in the theater because AMC have been cool. This is a reset for them, and Ashley's awesome. But go and do it in the fountain, okay? That Republican, Rick Caruso, he can pay for it. Alright? So you have that option. I am not condoning that you destroy the Grove if part 2 doesn't play. But you can do that if you wish. And I assume we've got a lot of people in here who have already seen this film, right? There are some crazies in the room, so can you put your hand up if you've seen this film? Okay. Everyone, if you've seen the film twice, keep your hands in the air. If you've seen the film 3 times, keep your hands in the air. Still going. If you've seen this 4 times, keep your hands in the air. We have a 4. Where's the 4? Okay. How many? Are you the last man standing? At the back. Okay. 5 times. Who has seen it 5 times?
Over here.
9? Do we have 9? I've got 9 going once. Going to 9. What have we got back there? 10. We have 10. Any more than 10? What is your name? What? I can't hear you. This theater's too big. Sai, you are a fucking maniac and you are the reason why we are here. Let's have a round of applause for Sai. You're going to see things in this film you want to see in any other film. And the best part about it is you will not see Chris Pratt fighting a dinosaur or Ladies and gentlemen, this is RRR. It's directed by S.S. Rajamouli. It is his 12th film. It is the most expensive film ever to come out of India. And my God, it is so good to see you all in here tonight. Thank you for coming and thank you for supporting cinema and enjoy RRR. Thank you.
All right, we're not all the way back, but we half back. It's an intermission during the film. We're watching RRR. It's hot so far. Nothing but hits.
Redux and I don't even
It's
remember.
Rise and Reborn, and Death. I don't know. It's hot so far.
Story, fire and water.
Fire and water. The fire and the water, bro. They set that up because literally right when they came with the fire and the water, I thought about that. That was genius. Yeah, this movie's fire.
That was half a movie. And
Yeah,
it's
that
already
was
the
half
best
the,
movie I've
and
ever
I'm not
seen.
even tripping about the length. I thought I'd be mad, but it's not. I want more. I want more.
You care about both of the characters.
Have I been missing out on this Bollywood stuff? Like, This is different.
Dance sequences.
Yeah, this is hitting way different.
Animals.
Bro. And they're all CG and they look good.
I don't know about good. I mean, I
They're
guess
all
acceptable.
passing. I know no animals were harmed in the making of that film.
At least we know that. At least we can be sure of that.
All right, no, this is a really good movie. We'll be back with the rest. We'll come back with the rest.
All right.
All right, we'll be back. All right, we back. We just saw RRR. It was a Bollywood film. I am blown away. I've been missing out. I did not know that Bollywood was doing it like that at
I
all.
don't know if they are doing it. I mean,
That was
I don't-
A1.
I don't know if every Bollywood movie's like that. I don't think so.
There was a guy been in there seen that movie 10 times.
No.
10 times, and I got it. At the
Any
end of the
movie
day, I
ever.
actually got why it cost that much and why people were going to see it so many times. That was fire. I would actually see it again, and I don't do that
Jesus.
often. And that was like 3 hours long, and it felt great.
It was a spectacle.
God, that was a rush.
I was thinking about it. It's like, it's almost like the good parts of a Zack Snyder, like the filmmaking parts, like the epicness mixed with like the story of what's a good studio that does stories.
I don't know, but
Disney,
they ain't doing them like that. In fact, speaking of
like
story,
a
there were so
revolutionary-
many stories wrapped into this one movie, but it still felt so flow
There
and
was a lot of
coherent.
meaning. There was a lot of like on every level.
On every level, foreshadowing was on point. The storytelling, just the chapters, like,
I
bro.
can't believe that we got Everything Everywhere All at Once and this movie
In 1
the
year.
same-
In 1
like
year.
it's maximalist filmmaking. It's like it's a crowd pleaser,
Oh, this is
and
chill.
it's all the things, man. It's a crowd pleasing movie. It's an amazing like story that you root for. Like that's like has meaning because it's like a truthful thing, like colonialism. I mean, it's
Bro,
something that everyone
and they
can
hit
relate
that
to.
colonialism shit on the head, as vicious as it was, and they made them
So
suffer.
crazy. I was talking about those flags beforehand. And then
Man.
it's about Britain fucking imperializing.
Everybody. And they made them suffer for it, and I loved it. I loved every moment of it. I was literally, I almost could cry.
It wasn't what's the word? It wasn't like seeping you in the misery of it. It was like celebrating the revolution of
The
it all.
revolution,
It was
the
so
fight
exciting.
back. Yeah, you never felt like, damn, there's nothing they can do. Honestly, and now this is just gonna be a little caveat from my personal life experience. I felt like that is what black people need right now. Is that kind of imagery and that kind of vision.
Like it was going
because
far.
it was like
it was like
this is what rebellion looks like without
Yeah.
it being like
I mean, there
a
was
violent
a few
rebellion.
moments like
It was
the
violent,
whipping
but-
and stuff where I was like, okay, that it's this is kind of crazy. But then the whole second act was just scene after scene of just amazing, fucking, just different ways that they fucking took out the British
Yeah,
imperialists.
not to mention all the first person camera shit. That was all fire.
and just
all
like the
fire.
two different sides of their fighting styles.
What else they about to get on there?
The fire and the water.
Hey, y'all just saw RRR? Hey, come here real quick. Say something on the podcast. I know y'all got something to say. That was fire.
A little recap of it over here.
You know what I'm saying? Welcome to Hindsight. You know what I mean? We don't need to do names. Just what'd you think?
Impressions, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was amazing. This is my second time seeing it.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can understand
Put your hand
why.
up for a little
Yeah,
bit.
I was gonna go to the last week's show or whatever, but I decided to like stay home or whatnot. So I'm glad
said
they
they didn't get the second
yeah, so
part of
even
that,
better
right?
to
So,
show up this
there
time.
you
Oh,
go.
you didn't? This was the first time you saw the end.
No, I saw
Oh, you're like,
I saw
no,
it on
bruh.
Netflix. It's on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's on Netflix?
It's on Netflix. So I watched with my other friends.
Oh, bruh.
And then
Yeah,
Just
told
like,
you.
bro, I'm about to go on there and
But
look
is
at
it-
movies like that.
Was it in a different language? It was in Hindi.
it's in
right?
Hindi,
Not
yeah,
in
dubbed in
native.
Hindi.
So
But, like,
probably
I'm not
this
gonna
one-
fucking
This one
know.
was a little better.
Yeah, like at least like the things like matched up with
Right,
the mouth.
right. It wasn't.
Yeah, they
jarring like that.
dubbed it in another language.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
For
yeah,
this
yeah.
screening.
Yeah, so this is a Tollywood film.
Oh, say it again.
Tollywood. It's
Hollywood.
Telugu.
Okay.
It's Telugu.
Oh, learning some new shit here.
Yeah.
All right, thoughts?
It was great. I didn't know anything going into it,
Oh,
and
same.
so I was pretty blown away. Yeah. There's a lot of Marvel-esque vibes to it.
Don't shit on this movie. That was better than Marvel.
Making some comparisons. It was good. It held my attention the whole time.
Sure,
I
like
needed the
3
break
hours.
though. I need to pee big time. So
The 15, so you like that 15
I like the
interval?
break, yeah.
Interval.
Yeah.
3 hours for you.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I just thought it was really good.
I just wish they served us alcohol in the middle of it,
Well, you could have just gone to buy something in the.
I didn't want to miss any of it. And
Yeah,
their lines
well,
were long. The lines
I
were
know,
long.
we went in the line and
Yeah.
you were right. Good decision.
We're gonna go crush some burritos. So thanks for having us.
Yeah, all right, y'all.
Yeah. Take it easy, guys.
All right, and we back. So everybody loved it, apparently.
But yeah, no, I kind of liked how like where the split was, because it sort of finished out the arc, and then it was like a flashback to Rose upbringing.
Yeah, that was clean.
Kind of gave him, because like I was wondering, like I liked the first part, but I kind of wanted to know more about where the military guy was coming from. Like,
And they gave you that full back, and his backstory was good. It wasn't even and they had alluded to it prior in the movie. It's like you saw that scene of his father, and you didn't even know what it really was until you knew what it was, and it was like, damn, okay, this is why he's going so hard.
Yeah.
Remember, like they show that flashback when he was like at the prison, like, or beating up all those guys when they're like trying to occupy something, and he jumps in the crowd to go arrest that one dude.
Yeah.
And he's getting
That was a
this
great
shit
scene.
beat out of him, and like then he has that flashback
They
to
took
his
their
father.
time. Yeah.
That was genius, man.
I mean, yeah, just from that very beginning, I knew it was gonna be crazy from the time that guy took out like 100 fucking. I kind of felt bad, but I knew
He had a reason.
special.
Yeah,
This
he's
guy
not just out here. He had a real reason to be going against his.
And
He was
then-
going against his people too, because everybody kept saying like, "Aren't you one of us?" Or why'd you betrayed us and traitor and all that, and that was crazy. You wanted him to win. You wanted everybody to win, kinda, except the really, really bad British
And
guys.
so yeah, you set up sort of his journey a little bit, and then you set up the guy Barim from the jungle, and they took, they took was it his daughter or no?
No, it was that girl's daughter, but it was from his tribe, and
From
he's
his
like
tribe,
the protector
yeah,
of his
that's right.
tribe. What's his name? Beam and Ram.
Beam and Ram. And at the end, the song made it seem like he was
Bro,
like a god
that
or
felt
something.
like it was some Dragon Ball. That must be where Dragon Ball got it from. It's like Indian songs. It was like Vegeta, Broly, these Ram,
Okay, so
Beam, the greatest protector.
Right. We'll get there. We're
Bro, we
jumping
all
over the
over.
place.
This is
But
everything
yeah, and then
everywhere
so
all
you
at
set
once.
up they're both their arcs, and then they come together as friends, saving that kid in the
God,
train.
that was genius. It was so unexpected. I'm not gonna lie. It's like they're looking for each other, and then boom, they're best friends.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? And it's like, and then the tension starts to build because you know what's gonna happen eventually.
they're gonna
But it's like,
have to-
when are the friendship keeps getting stronger and closer, and literally the moment when you find out that they gotta have beef is when one is at his total weakest.
That's just
literally dying
like,
of poison. He just
masterful.
saved his life.
That's
Like,
masterful
bro.
storytelling right there.
Oh,
Like,
I was
you knew what was gonna
invested.
happen, but
Bro, I was
it
invested.
they did the work.
I was
And-
invested. It did all the work. Man, they were killing that film. I don't know, whoever wrote that
Rajamani.
did a great job, man. Man, even the side characters, all their arcs were slapping. I'm like, damn. Even as like, I love that how they used the wife too, her fiance. How she was like, we see her little flashbacks to her over on the island, and then boom, she a real character. She's here right now with Gang, and she's like, this is what happened.
And
in his
she's helping.
childhood.
She has a big role. She's
And it's like, wow, who would have, like, I don't know, that just hit the right way.
Smallpox, that's a real thing.
That was genius.
My dad had smallpox. It's serious. And that, like, some people are like, oh, like, is that believable? It totally is.
It's the
Totally
monkeypox
is.
wave now, so get ready.
Is.
COVID plus monkeypox, monkey COVID pox.
And even, we're jumping around a bit, but
cares?
that's my mind just went to the scene. Of,
Hindsight. That's what we do.
they're torturing Ram.
Everybody.
They put him in a
torture.
smaller thing. He does the pull-ups even still.
That was great, bro. That was
They
great.
fucking bust out his kneecaps, and then he rides
Beam shoulders
Beam
as they had already
shoulders.
set up previously in the movie. Genius.
That was
actually, I've never seen an
epic.
action
That was
sequence like that.
epic.
They escape a prison with him sitting on his shoulders, 2 guns in both
Think about
hands.
it, like Beam, like is the gun, the firepower, and then Ram is like just underneath him, supporting him.
Reverse, but
Yeah.
okay, you know. And his like, I don't know. It's like
Well,
the
it's fire.
subtlety.
He's fire. He's
the
fire.
subtlety
He's
of
fire.
their like effects. It's like they're using special effects, we know, but it's not to do anything super like
Yeah.
flamboyant. It's just like, you know,
the CG
boom, a
wasn't,
good little slide here, a
maybe
good
wasn't
little
the
thing
greatest,
there.
in my
But it didn't
opinion.
matter
But it didn't matter
because it
Yeah.
was like the story had you in. Like they were throwing like arrows, and there was a lot of stuff that was crazy, but like it was beautiful. It was beautifully done. Nothing felt over the top with the CG.
Right.
It all felt like, okay, they just used it to make a tiger, to make him jump in the air, for a shot. Everything was like shot based. All
Yeah.
the CG was to make the shot.
And again,
look cool.
going back, the thing I most love about Zack Snyder is like his style. Like I don't know if you've seen what was that one with the girls? The badass women. Excuse me. Sucker Punch.
We don't speak French on hindsight. No way, you're telling me Zack Snyder did Sucker Punch?
Dude, I'm just
No,
saying.
Zack Snyder did not do
No,
Sucker
he did.
Punch.
He did.
Zack Snyder did Sucker Punch?
Did you like it?
Bro,
Yeah.
that's like one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
bro.
It's. I mean, say what you will about his storytelling, like
that was
his
a
visual
psychological
style,
thriller of them inside the
like
sane asylum.
300,
Like, that was
for
great.
example, 300 as well. You did 300. Even some of the DC stuff, like it's shot in a way where there's a lot of low angles, like I was saying
looking
before.
up at people, yeah.
There's a lot of slow
There were a
motion.
lot, and it was beautiful.
Like I can't stress enough, like every scene is epic.
yeah, every
like-
hit is slow motion. There is nobody's getting hit or shot or nothing, and they're not getting hit in slow motion. And I can appreciate it.
It's like some things are ridiculous, but
everything was good.
Yeah.
Everything was slow motion. And honestly, I've never been so excited for CG animals. And they made me excited for CG animals. And that's not a thing you can do. I
snakes,
usually hate
tigers,
everything.
even
and the way they were using them
even
as like
motorcycles.
weapons. Yeah.
Motorcycles.
When the animals, when they were attacking the kingdom the first time,
yeah,
where they're
he
like
let out the-
Empire, and he just,
Dude, that was so
I thought it was a
dope.
bomb, and then animals and like Beam come busting
Then
out the
he's,
side
like,
of this.
sneaking in, and
that
then
was
all of a sudden he
genius.
does the roll thing. Oh my god! I guess, bro, Indian filmmaking is just so epic.
Yeah, it was like a different kind of Trojan horse I had never seen before.
Let's get away from this again.
Oh, that's why I moved the first time. That's crazy. It just is like following. He's like, I want to be on hindsight too. All I ever wanted was to be on. Every time he follows us, we never even knew. Anyway.
And just the dancing scenes.
Oh, bro. The dancing, man. The dancing scenes.
Bro, that one
I didn't
dancing
even
scene
feel like usually.
was like, if it ended after that, I would have been like, okay, I came here and it was worth it.
Bro, that was
like-
oh. And it was
like,
the
oh, like, you
story
can't-
to it
you
too.
can't
Yeah,
dance, and
the
then-
story build up to the dance made the dance that much better. And then the fact that
man.
everyone joins in too, and then the fact that the rivalry kicks off too, that we have been waiting for, finally starts
It's like,
to.
yeah, this
bro,
white guy thinks he can dance. He's like the best dancer, and then all of a sudden he just gets.
can you do
showing
the
up.
flamenco or the Charleston?
That's like, I mean, they're making fun of white people.
But
which
that is
true, 'cause
literally
white people
always how white people do.
Steal
was
everything. They
that was
fucking,
great.
They commandeer everything.
And shout outs to my guy. He heard him do the thing one time, and he learned it and just started going in on the drums.
On what?
With the black dude, like when he
Oh.
saw him hit it one time, then he just flips the sticks to him and he could just play it.
That was. Wait. Was
like-
he already drumming?
No, when Ram started
Ram
drumming
started
to
drumming,
like
yeah,
get it
yeah.
popping off, and then he just like hits the thing and the sticks
like-
flip in the
oh,
air,
yeah,
and then
no,
the
no,
other
yeah,
dude
no,
catches
no.
him and just starts
Like it
playing.
starts out when the fucking British guy
dance, he trips him.
trips the one
He
of the
trips
or no,
Beam.
he
He
trips
trips
Beam,
Beam
but Beam runs into
to the other
a
guy.
waiter,
Yeah.
and then the plate starts spinning, and then all of a sudden you see it spinning, you see another shot of it spinning, and then
He
Ram
kicks
comes
it
in.
and then like turns it into a fucking drum. That was genius, man. It was like their brotherhood was strong.
Yeah.
It was like,
Even,
bro, I'm not gonna let you just go
What's
down
her
like
name?
that.
Like Jenny, like the guy, beside me was obsessed with Jenny. Like every time she would appear on screen, he would shout his.
Oh, that was I could hear him.
Yeah.
Jenny was tight though. I liked her character, except for the fact that they had to kill her father, and I wonder if she knows that that's what went down. I don't know if that was her father actually. We just know that she kind of worked with them in some way, shape, or form, but
Maybe
it
that
looked
wasn't
real
as developed,
fatherish.
But I didn't care.
Yeah, I just wanted to see them all burn anyway. So, except Jenny,
like,
Jenny could live.
Like being, like especially like he couldn't speak English, and even their
That
relationship.
was genius. That was
just
wonderful.
the body language,
Yes.
like the funny moments between
That
them
was
two.
wonderful. That was wonderful.
Great story.
Because usually you don't see like bilingual things. Usually everybody's on the same page, and it's like reflected reality a little
he's
bit
like
more.
Ram's like the great wingman that is like, bro, like here's how you do it. you want this girl?
Let's take note, guys. If you want a girl to stop, you take nails and you throw them in front of her tire, and then when her car stops, you chop her up.
Yeah.
Make sure you're riding a motorcycle for this to work effectively.
I mean, it's the British, so who the fuck
Who
cares
cares?
what happens
Yeah,
to
you
their
know.
cars? Like, she doesn't have to worry about that.
But
Like,
she
it's just
didn't,
a good
because
excuse,
literally
yeah.
they like fixed their car and sent someone to go find her.
Yeah. So
Crazy.
if it's at the expense of British like imperialists, then it's good. It's okay.
Man, I haven't seen a movie like really shit on Britain like that in so long, and maybe ever. Honestly, if I think about it, they're always the heroes. Britain is always the hero, the imperial hero who's saving the
man.
savages. And this was one time I feel like it was flipped on its head.
Dude, that last scene, not the last scene, one of the last scenes when he's like, like it's that final, like, ready, aim, fire. Or like,
Ready!
or no, not ready, aim,
No,
fire.
it's aim! Something. No, load!
Load.
Aim! Shoot! That was crazy.
Dude.
That had emotional impact by the time he did it at the end, because I was like, damn, like when his father was saying that to him after his mom just got popped in the head, I was hurting. Nigga, I was hurting. Like,
Yeah.
damn.
And ripped off his cloak, is like, fucking man, this is how I'm gonna go out.
Yeah, the king dude, though, I love to see him get axed. That was perfect. And not only that, was he just a tyrannous, villainous bitch, plus his wife.
Oh,
The
yeah.
lead up, it was like
That was
the
so-
lead up was great
That
because
was so great to see her.
it was like generations had dealt with him and his bullshit. And by the time he finally got it, he had the line like, this one is, this bullet was made something
You know how much
cost
this
7
bullet
shillings, yeah.
costs? That's true.
And that was wonderful to see
That's
that get
true.
thrown back in his face.
It's like, you're not even worth a bullet. And,
Man.
this bullet came from, this bullet was 7.
Yeah, I can't even remember,
Hence.
but it was so much extra information on a bullet. But yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It was
it is.
great.
I don't know what message it sends. Like, I'll bring back the weapons. I'll bring back the weapons for everyone.
But it was to protect him. He brought back
Yeah.
more than just weapons. He brought back almost like a mentality of freedom. That was what it was. Is freedom.
Freedom.
Because at first he just wanted to get guns to have the guns, but then after he saw the way that Beam had like inspired the people to be free,
Yeah.
then he had
And
he
Beam
wanted
was
to bring
almost
back
like-
the freedom.
Because he was water, as
He was
as-
fire,
as
yeah.
Ram was fire, so it kind of tracks with their personality.
Yeah, the
types.
ebb and flow. Not to mention when they started doing like the first fire and water fight when they first were storming in the thing, that was so awesome. And it's like
Dude.
before that they already set up like the fire, the water, and so it's in your head, and then boom, they had the shot like the fire, and then it shoots
And
on
then
him.
the
He's got
fucking
the
water
he's
snakes,
like the
yeah,
water, and you
the-
just
the
knew
fountains,
like
yeah.
now it begins.
Oh
like
my god.
that movie was
Oh my
wonderful.
God. It was almost like a movie and its sequel. Like it's the
In one
perfect
movie,
sequel,
it was-
sequel
yes.
in one movie.
It felt like Avengers Endgame and what
Yeah,
it was
part
like what
one,
Endgame
part two.
and what's it called, and Infinity War should have
Infinity
been.
War, yeah.
Infinity War was good. Endgame did not bring it home. Endgame was a hard 3 hours. This was the
I was
easiest
kinda
3
opposite,
hours.
actually. I liked Endgame. I didn't like Infinity War as much. But,
No, this
you
was
know.
the easiest 3 hours, and that was hard for me. Like this
I know,
flew
it-
by.
like,
it
yeah,
flew
yeah,
by.
yeah.
I couldn't wait to find out what was going to happen. Honestly, I could not wait to see what was going to happen, and that's not even me in movies. Like even we saw that other movie. What was that shit? I already forgot the name of it.
The last time?
Yeah. The last hindsight, anyway.
Future of,
that just
of
that
war.
crime
No,
in
no.
the crime
Crimes
in
of
the future. That just goes to show how crap it was. But RRR, not crap, but it wasn't.
It had
this.
good ideas, but it didn't really.
This delivered.
It didn't really, fulfill them.
This delivered. It hit so hard. It hit so hard.
Like it is, like it does have a similarity to Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is probably like I don't know. It's my favorite movie of the year, but like just both their filmmaking styles are like maximalist. It's like the most like whatever you can throw at the screen.
Everything Everywhere All at Once was the most. I thought that was minimalist, but just done beautifully. This was the most. This was actually very everything. Everything everywhere. Didn't have the budget to do the stuff that this was doing. It was just creatively done.
True.
The storytelling was so strong that it made everything better.
It made me feel a similar way
but this
when
was
I saw that.
Because it was the storytelling. Like this story was great. You knew the characters, you kind of knew how they react, and they just kept getting put in positions to where like there was an emotional ebb and flow to everything for everyone. It was like literally all kinds
Even
of role reversals. Yeah.
Like the uncle who was part of the military, you could tell, you know, they wanted the same thing, and he was kind of the one that was like, okay, hold on, like, do you want to really go this far? And then he ended up sliding the old razor
to him. Yeah. And you know, and you ask yourself too, like, what does it mean to be good? Because even though these guys are the heroes, they were still kind of doing some fucked up shit, you know. Like,
who?
Both, and that's why I like the ebb and flow of their relationship, because like they were both the mains, but you saw them from two opposing sides for a lot of it, and they were both doing fucked up things to like they were killing a whole lot of people. Each of them individually got at least like 100 body count. Being busted in there with those animals and killed all those people, and then he got in trouble, and then the roles were reversed. And then they both had to go and kill everybody. So it's like they literally took down the entire empire. Like, that was ridiculous.
But they set them up to where it was justified. Like, they're both like the most badass fucking people. Just like, like they set Ram up with just wanting to be the perfect soldier and like prove himself and try to get to the top.
But for the weapons, he wanted the weapons.
But he was, he was determined. Like, even though one of the fucking officers, one of the captains was like, "Yo, this guy is scary. Like, maybe we."
I can vouch for him.
Yeah. He didn't automatically just go a different route. He like stuck the course. He was gonna prove himself, and he's like, I'm gonna prove myself by finding this guy that, you know, that's supposedly one of the strongest people that like is gonna avenge.
Or no, they were like, if you kidnap her, like there's gonna be a guy who's gonna come after you. Yeah.
So they established both people, like both. Fucking, it's almost like Vin Diesel.
They had lore, they had some lores by the time they really even meet. They're like, they had a lore.
It reminded me of like, the Rock, or is it the Rock and Vin Diesel and Fast and Furious?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sort of rivalry, except better.
It was better because it was like more set up on their backstories. I feel like it wasn't even yet. You know, and how they met, and dude's crazy hand signals that somehow he always understands, some elaborate plan just by him just doing some little simple hand symbols, and then out of nowhere, like Ram would do those little simple hand symbols, and then they would know to do some crazy elaborate plan. Remember, he did a couple of hand signals, and then they took the rope and jumped the motorcycle on one side and the horse off the other, and
I think that's because I think that's like an Indian thing, where it's like you communicate a lot with.
Yeah, I feel it, but that was a joke, obviously, because like there's no way with his hands he was saying all of those things.
Right, we're gonna go this way.
You're gonna take that motorcycle and you're gonna go. Nah, bro. I'm gonna go get this horse. You go there, get that rope, and get that motorcycle, and like that was crazy. It was crazy.
But I loved it.
Yeah, it was beautiful to watch. There was no like it felt like there was no spared frame.
Yeah.
Like they really took the time, and every frame mattered. Every scene was really trying to say something or do something. It was it was no filler. It didn't feel like any filler. Yeah,
There was no scene where I was bored.
And the music was on point the whole time. I couldn't get enough of it. Like it was different kind of vibes too. Like, you know, like hey, and then music that was just telling the story. Like the music would be like saying like, oh man, he's down at his worst.
I kept reading the subtitles
and it was
for
like
that,
literally telling the story of the movie. That was just great.
What is that dancing style? Nizu.
Something like that.
Yeah, I wish I could remember it.
Something like that. That was hot. That was hot. They could sing. And the ending dance number was crazy. They were dancing so hard, I'm like, bro, is that CGI too? Like they just put their hair with somebody else's body on there. They were killing those dances.
Not to.
That's the name of the dance? Not to?
Do the not to.
They killed that. Those dances were great.
Shit.
And that
There's so much.
The opening sequence was enough for me, like with the fire in the water. I thought that was just so well done. Cause it's like I didn't know what they were doing.
Right, because
then
the title sequence
didn't even happen until they become friends. They're like friends. You meet the fire, you meet the water, and then boom, they become friends. And then it's title sequence.
Story.
Oh, the story, the fire, the water, and then the movie started.
And then it stood for like
Rise, something, and Revolt, maybe, I don't know.
Revolution, something like that. All like just.
Or don't.
Or you just tell me. You're just like.
That was my RAM symbols. I was doing the sign language.
Okay, my bad. We're not on the same page.
How many symbols do I need to do? That was
return
genius.
receipt question. No, I'm just kidding. What?
Yeah, no, man. Man. It's like it's not that I don't see Bollywood films. I just don't see them, so I don't even think to watch them. But like, that was epic.
This was a special one. This wasn't.
Yeah, they even had a guy come out and talk at the beginning, and that was rare.
Rise, Roar, Revolt.
Rise, Roar, Revolt. I like the whole animal themes. Like the animal themes, as far as like, didn't they represent?
I don't think we mentioned that.
Didn't they represent some animals or some shit, like a bear?
Of the movie, they had a
tiger
screen that was saying like no animals were harmed in the making of this movie, and they list every single animal that's in the movie.
Oh, that was
lion, fucking snakes, but there was fish, bird, whatever, and I thought that was hilarious, because like then it sets you up for what to expect. Like I was looking out for all those animals, and when did we come in?
And they were all getting hurt, but they were CG. And ripping people limb from limb, they were doing that too.
Yeah. It's just that whole jungle sequence with the tiger where they set up
the trap.
Story.
Oh my God, that was great.
And it's like
and
a
then
fucking
you knew he had the
Spider-Man
strength
thing.
of the tiger. And it almost was already a call up. It was like a foreshadowing of when he's up there already, that he had the spirit of the tiger. And we knew it from way back when.
Yeah, with those two crates on either side.
Oh, I was talking about when he was getting tortured.
Oh.
And he was up there the same way he was when he was holding on.
Remember, he had the two grates on either side right before.
I don't know what grates he had.
Crate. He pulled up the crates.
Oh, those were guns. Those were the guns.
Oh, the guns,
that he had.
right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, you know, the tiger, and then when he's getting whipped, and then the song comes, and it's like, oh yeah, be me, tell you love. That part.
Yeah. That.
It was deep. Everything came back around. Even like Ram being like that god. I feel like they had set that up and like talked about that god, and like I had seen that, and then boom. I will say his legs got healed really fast. His legs got healed way too fast.
He's the fucking with the arrows and the flames and the.
Anyway,
he looks so epic, like with his long hair, like that's.
Yeah, he had
some
so many
Fable.
transformations through this movie.
Shit.
He had mustache. He had the goatee. He had
He honestly,
Ram God.
Yeah, he was my favorite
Yeah,
character.
over time he became like Beam was like really the OG, but then it's like, okay, he's having a lot of character growth in this film. He's like the bad guy who was actually the good guy, to the bad guy, to the good guy, to the god.
He had a plan all along, you know. I mean, when he was getting like when he was poisoned by that snake, like I thought he was done. Like, and then
when I thought that Beam killed him when he stabbed that pole into the ground. That was so good.
I thought he was dead when Beam fucking stabbed him with those claws.
Oh, in the chest with the 3, yeah. Yeah.
He almost died like 3 times.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, I feel like, did we miss anything?
No, they didn't. I asked the dude. I was like, yeah, bro, what happened? And he was like, no, they just cut to it. They cut to the flashback because they ended on like them hanging, and he's like holding his hand. Like that was such a great segment, but like no, that's just where they popped in.
Which I like, because then it's sort of like a whole new
and
story.
You're wondering in your mind like what happened, and then they didn't even show it. It was just it was a time. It was literally a time skip.
But it was clear that they just imprisoned Beam and
they were about to beat him. They were about to flog him.
They like promoted Ram because he did what he said he would do.
Got the weapons. And that was It's funny how like the second part, everybody getting tortured, everybody getting beat. We're in a true dark night of the soul for both characters.
Like a catharsis.
They had like
the end, though.
dual arcs. Like both of them were going through kind of the same thing.
Yeah. They were both got tortured. They both hit rock bottom, literally.
That was strong, man. In fact,
and then the catharsis at the end, even
that
like
that wife,
the motorcycles and.
Oh, when he grabs the motorcycle and just starts hitting people, that was crazy. Yeah, just jumping back though, the wife was so crazy. She was the one character I needed to see her die. No, the wife of the the British wife.
She's kind of fine.
She had to die.
In a MILF way, but
she had to die. I was like, is that Nicole Kidman? It wasn't though.
By the way, I just have to say, I think you left for Nicole Kidman's like.
I did. I
vlog.
went to go about him.
I couldn't believe it. Everyone was like reciting every word of that.
There were a weird crowd. I liked it and I didn't. I liked it during the right moments.
It was
but
crazy.
sometimes it was like, all right, guys, chill the fuck out, stop talking. Like when Beam's about to pull the thing out, the jail thing out, he's like, no way. Like, it was like another added soundtrack to the movie.
I mean, some of those
like
people are
old
crazy.
sitcoms.
Like one guy saw it 9 times. I can't even believe
I think he was lying. I feel like somebody was in there lying. But then again, they were so dedicated. Like there was a fandom, and I didn't. There was so many white people in there. I was surprised, honestly. I didn't know there was a fandom. But I didn't know there was a fandom like that. Like these guys were everybody in there seemed to be a major fan, and it was like, whoa! I didn't even know that this was a thing like this.
Well, it's been getting a lot of buzz because it's on Netflix, but.
Oh well, they snapped. Oh, that would explain how they've seen it so many times. Now it all makes sense.
But this is like, now people want to see it, and it's because on Netflix. Okay, so here's what I heard. The Netflix is like dubbed in Hindi, so like they were saying, like the dialogue doesn't match like the mouth, and it's kind of like off-putting a little bit.
Oh, okay. In this one where it was there were sometimes it was off in this movie.
There's a streaming service that their original language is on that they want to promote, is what I read.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
And so
the rights to
Netflix
normal dub
had to get like the dubbed version. But this is like, we saw it in its like
original
form,
well, that was good. I liked how they were going between like Hindi and English and stuff. That was great.
Well, it's not Hindi. It's like.
Oh, it's not?
Telugu.
Oh, Telugu. Yeah, he was just saying that. Tollywood.
Tollywood. Yeah. Damn.
Oh yeah. Anytime I said Bollywood, I was wrong. It's Tollywood.
Similar. But it's interesting. It's like there's a lot of interesting political stuff going on with it because, like Beam was like.
Sun never sets.
No, he said like, I'm not Muslim, like
Eastern Empire or whatever. Well, that's because he was just pretending to be a person.
I know,
he was really Beam. He was pretending to be like Arcta or something.
Yeah, Akhtar or something.
Akhtar, there we go.
Admiral Akbar.
And he was doing a great job playing the role. He did that weird little head bob thing all the time, like, oh yeah. I was
Dude,
like,
that's what Indians do though.
Oh, that's what that head bob was?
Like this means like yes. And that's why it was a funny joke when he was doing that with Jenny.
Yeah, I didn't get it. I didn't know what was happening. I just thought he kept doing it. I'm like,
oh, well, talking to a guy that studied in India for a little bit. So.
Yeah, it's like you understand now.
Yeah, it was great. I like for a 3+ hour film, like I wouldn't mind seeing it again.
Yeah, and I don't ever say that, but this was one I could actually see again. I feel like there's probably even more to be picked up that I didn't even, like, based on what I caught, I felt like they were just laying the framework for a wonderful movie from the first act. It was just, even that opening scene where they take the girl, holy crap, I was already pissed. Like, oh my God, where she throws her the coins and then they just take her daughter. I was like, holy crap. And then hit her over the head with that stick, man. I was like, okay.
Scene, you already knew,
yeah. And it started so innocent.
I will
She's
say,
like, yeah,
like, the singing
and like,
it was great, yeah.
Boom!
It was great.
Violence.
Because you're like, oh, like that's so beautiful, and then all of a sudden, like, violence.
It was just immediate.
British people. There was a lot of opening fucking logos and shit, which I could have gone without.
Yeah, whatever. It's the same as the credits.
But it was a lot of credits.
Man, it was only like 15 minutes plus another ad for something
everyone
else.
was like applauding for every single logo.
Hey, it took a lot of people to make that film, for sure.
Yeah, respect.
For sure. Especially because I feel like other countries know how to do a different kind of funding, where they like can pull from so many sources to get the money that they need. And like America's just like, oh, we're just big studios.
But they gave them all their due. Like sometimes it's just like scrolls like.
Oh, for sure. Well, I mean, they had to do it at the beginning because at the end, nobody looked at a single credit because they had a magnificent dance number, elaborate dance number going on.
That's something that I think I've noticed in the back of my head. It's like
at the credits at all.
Like all of the credits were on the side.
Yeah.
They danced through the whole
credits.
Like usually
and it was a good dance too, so I'm not even thinking about the credits.
Pre-credits, yeah. But they did the thing where they brought every single character back for the dance.
Yeah, that was good, man. Except
they brought the father back. They brought everyone back.
That was funny. I didn't see the old white guy though.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Scott Burton.
Scott Smith.
I read his thing. Cause I'm like Tim Burton, but it was Scott.
I mean he
was a beast though. Yeah. He was a G. When they pulled the tree down on his car and he jumps out the car, grabs the rifle out the air, and then pops it. When he popped the tire, that was A1 too.
Yeah,
that's when I actually kind of respected him. Like, okay, he's not just a fucking a suit. Yeah, he's actually a war hero, a veteran. Maybe not a hero, but just a veteran. And we knew that because he had literally been throughout the generations saying that same speech to everybody. Mm-hmm. If I'm not mistaken, like he went to both villages.
Blood like spattered, like, for the crown.
He did that in both villages. He did that in Beam's village when he took the girl, and then he did it in Ram's village with his father. And that's when his father was like, "Oh, okay, I gotta turn up. Like, we gotta revolt."
Incredible.
And they got him.
Incredible.
They got him in the end. They got him
in the most perfect way you can imagine.
Yeah, everything felt like it led up to something.
The arrow and the gun. Yeah.
I didn't even notice that the arrow and the gun got him. Yeah.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, that was solid. That was solid. There was only one part where I felt like I was hurting, and that was when Beam left Molly that first time. I was like, dang, I didn't think Beam was going to do that. I thought he was going to break her out right then.
Molly, yeah.
I thought he was going to break her out on some super strength. It's like the strength was...
No, he couldn't. Like, that like...
I feel like they got stronger throughout the movie, but
what was he going to do at that
crazy.
point? Like, he had nothing? No. He had to leave.
And have a plan, I guess.
Plus, the other guy was coming around the corner. I did think he was there a long time talking to her, like very loudly. So
and she's crying and he's singing. Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, nobody knows that.
But it's the kind of movie where like
yeah, it's whatever.
You sing like,
and it was so far. The hallways were so big and the place was so elaborate. Who knows?
But yeah, Jenny was great. I feel like they had to have a redeeming fucking British character.
Well, that's just how life really is. There's usually that one person who's like,
that
this
one
is
girl.
messed up.
I wish she had more of a. I thought she was gonna maybe be involved in like helping.
She was. She helped him get in the prison.
How?
Remember, she gave him the blueprints so that
Oh, I guess I missed that.
Remember, they were sitting outside. The scene right before he breaks in.
Like,
she's sitting outside.
But it was very quick.
Yeah, it was quick.
It was like a.
Yep, it was quick. She just was like, literally, they cut to her like, and these are the blueprints for so and so. Like, it's gonna be difficult to so and so and so. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, I would have liked more there.
I wanted more screen time. The other guy got in your head. You're like, Jenny.
Well, no, like I wanted some type of conversation at least, like not just like.
What were they gonna do? Just look at each other and be like,
like how did. Like,
yes,
how did they get that time in that room together? Like,
they were outside.
Wait, when?
She went to drive out and meet him, and he was like, "Thank you."
Oh, when he was tied up, or?
No, that was before. That was when he was going to get Ram out of prison. She got him the blueprints to the prison, and then Beam was like, "Yes, thank you." And then he proceeded to break him out of that prison somehow. And when he does that flip onto the guard tower and kicks him, and then lands it on the little slide.
I mean, they set him up he's doing the push-up, he's doing the pull-ups.
And it's what are pull-ups gonna do for you? Yeah, and then he just totally shows them.
That type of
and then he
movie.
just grabbing people by their neck and carrying them. It's a lot of satisfaction.
A fucking Mission Impossible.
Yeah, for sure.
Like Fast and Furious type craziness.
But better than
cars.
that. But better than that, because I feel like they just set everything up the right way. Everything is leading to something in the story, it feels like. Nothing is just we just said it to say it. Everything is there will be a payoff. It felt like everything had some type of payoff.
Pretty much.
Every scene, every line, everything just
I can definitely take something that, for my own storytelling.
No questions. I was taking some notes.
Yeah, that could be a Max Caliber type arc.
I had to take some
two
notes.
factions.
That was fire.
You can do all storylines.
There was so much in that movie.
You have the
speaking
guns.
of storylines, it literally felt like there was 18 stories happening. It was like,
but not really.
They have their rivalry.
Just two.
But I mean, they had their rivalry, and then they had a fall arc. They had a redemption arc for multiple characters. It was literally a rescue mission type arc. What else do we have? I'll even give them the opening buddy cop arc that we had when we started that off. Just the whole beginning part was just them homies.
Yeah.
There was so many different things going on, and it just all flowed together so seamlessly.
You believed that they were just best friends.
Yeah, and not even mentioning the whole God scene at the end, where it felt like there was something more going on. These two were gods or something. Because then they kind of went through all the gods at the end too. I didn't know what they were talking about, but it seemed like it had some special
the
lore.
Power of Shiva.
Yeah, the ending song where they're
that's just
giving
Indian
praise to the
stuff,
whatever.
Yeah.
That's Indian stuff.
I mean, that's Hindi.
You mean toboggan, Toboggan, whatever.
Telegoggan.
Telegoggan, yeah, that's a Hollywood.
I'm sorry, we don't mean to be inoffensive.
Yeah, but
there is a lot of cultural elements, I feel. If you lived, I mean, yeah, they're talking about, because it is you have northern India and you have southern India, and there's different belief systems, and and obviously there's colonialism. So I mean, it's easy to understand from a surface level, but if you're if you know about that type of stuff, I feel like it may hit harder. If you know a lot about
for
Indian,
sure, lore
Indian
and stuff,
lore
and gods, and
yeah. Because there was that statue.
Yeah, because there was the mythology level of it. Ram or Rama is probably the god or something. And yeah.
The statue, yeah.
The statue
with the arrows.
Arrows, yep, and that was great. He always had the flaming
and just
arrows.
The little protection.
Third eye thing.
Thing and the little necklace thing. That's
oh yeah.
That was a huge moment when Beam gave
him the
Ram the thing, because it's like
It was like to
pray-
protect him. Yeah.
Yeah, like just like pray.
And it was a big moment because it helped him realize like who Beam was actually.
Yeah.
Because he was like,
Yeah.
holy crap, that the dude I was just beating
But I think
had one of those.
that needed to happen for Ram to just like have mercy on him when that time came when he maybe could have killed him. Probably should have killed him.
There was a whole lot of that almost killed and didn't. But the best one was easily that stick, because I thought he was dead. I'm like, wow, the movie must be coming to a close soon. But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
When he
yeah.
shot that
That's
stick in
great
the ground,
filmmaking, yeah.
I was like, whoa!
And then right after that, bro, like just with his own force of will, he just stops all the soldiers from chasing after them.
And what was great, because that was like that minimal effort. You know what I mean? Where it's like, you're doing things.
It's like the Goku thing.
Yeah, he wasn't even trying or like fighting. He was literally just jumping into them and just using like their own weight against them.
Dude, it
and
was
stuff.
very anime. That might be a little, I don't know.
I can agree. It felt like, but it was well done. It wasn't that corniness I feel like I get in the West, where they're actually trying to emulate anime in some kind of way. It felt like here, they were just trying to make a movie and make it like, you know, like over the top. But now it wasn't about all the special effects and all the extra. You know, it was like an element of it to help tell this story. Versus it being like, use another blast. Oh, special effect, Doctor Strange.
It had the emotion of like a really good
like a good movie.
anime.
Yeah. Oh, I was thinking the action of it. Like that moment when he comes out with those animals, bro, that was so next level. That
Maybe
freeze
even
frame,
like One Piece level.
just the slow motion.
I
Chill
need to
out.
throw that
Chill
out
out.
just for you.
Chill out, all right.
Just kidding.
But that slow motion scene, oh my God. When literally the dude does the roll, the carpet comes up, and I'm thinking, oh my God, here come a ton of bombs. And boom, Beam just comes flying out with like literally a flaming torch or something and a ton of animals. That was just the subversion.
Cause like you never knew what was in that truck.
And I never see stuff like that. I can't get over that scene. Like, I never see stuff like that. It's always the bombs, it's always the guns, it's always the same old thing. And literally the dude came with animals, and the animals were such a problem. That was the best part, was like
it was almost like a Pocahontas thing where he comes from the jungle. And that's
the animals
like
were
his
such
native people.
a problem, though.
It's like the whole native thing. That's like colonialist. It's Pocahontas in a way, like mixed with like.
I can't say that no, because you're trying to make it like Avatar, but it was way more. It was better than that.
I'm just saying like there's like elements.
Elements, sure.
Yeah.
But that was way better than a Pocahontas type story. It wasn't basic. It had too many layers for it to just be basic like Pocahontas. Shout out to Pocahontas and all them, but you know.
But it just sort of shows how similar a lot of areas are, and like how similar a lot of like imperialism is, and like evil is. People just trying to take over shit. Like it's almost like it's so like I don't know a lot about the history of that, but it makes total sense.
Yeah, you do. White people went in and killed everybody.
Well, no, that's specific.
It's the same as everywhere in the world, pretty much. Yeah,
well, that's what I'm saying.
We've seen it.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but the sun never sets on the British
it's
Empire.
Like if this were in America and it was just like, you know, the Revolutionary War all over again, like, it's very similar. It has similar aspects.
Yeah, but the beauty was like, I just didn't feel like it was glorified in their favor. And I said that earlier, but that was like the one piece that was very different. Is I feel like they were the actual enemy that people were rooting against, and films aren't really made like that. It was just a nice change of pace where it felt like the villain was the real villain.
You could make this like with like a Native American, like in like, you know, old America.
Oh, sure you could, but it wouldn't have hit the same.
You could.
Maybe it would have hit the same.
Like you could make a
you
version.
Know, their history, well, sure, then it'd be just Pocahontas. But their history made it more interesting to me than a bunch of like Native American people, because I feel like they had more. They weren't just, you know, like the usual story of the Native American people who were tribal with nothing and spears and they just get shot up. I feel like they at least had more somehow, like more technology and more things to kind of, you know what I mean, more established. But I guess their villages were pretty like slumdoggy, so.
Like, I was wondering what was gonna happen after that that torture scene where they asked him to like kneel down, and I was
They had a gun to fight
it was
back.
so interesting. He's just like wouldn't kneel, and all of a sudden he just falls to the ground, and everyone just starts storming.
Well, he was like, rise up. He wasn't trying to hit the ground. He was like, rise. Like,
Yeah.
rise. And the
Rise,
people were just
yeah.
like,
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like,
And it was just like him losing it was just like their pop-off point.
it could have been done like super cheesily, like.
Bro, that had weight.
But it wasn't,
It
yeah.
felt like the people, even I wanted to jump up in there. Like, that had
Dude,
weight.
climbing over, the barbed wire and everything, and man,
That had weight. Like, I
It's the
literally
meaning of it,
felt,
yeah,
you
like-
felt that. You felt the people.
he's like, bro, you just kneel or you're gonna die. Like,
But
straight
I'd rather
up.
die. He was literally up there like, I'd rather die. And I'm doing a song. You're whipping me and I'm singing a song right now. Like, that was the crazy part. They're literally beating this guy with it was not even
But
a
it
whip, it was a
wasn't-
thorn
it
whip.
wasn't-
And he's singing
Yeah.
a song.
Bro. I mean, it could have been super corny,
Nothing
like
was
the
corny.
singing of it, because a
But
lot
nothing
of
was corny.
American music stuff is
It's corny, but nothing was corny. Because it was, man, it just felt like it was a part of the story the right kind of way. I don't even know how to describe it. Because I'm thinking about like
Like
even,
if you see singing in
like
like
The
a moment
Greatest
like that,
Showman or something like
if you
that,
see singing like in
Like,
an
yeah.
American film,
it just doesn't hit for me. Maybe it's because it's
Yeah,
always,
it's-
and this is a personal opinion. I just
could
think it's
never
just
see-
white people and
you
it feels
could never
corny.
see something like this.
You don't see like black
in
musicals or
America.
like,
Yeah.
or Indian musicals or Toboggan musical, whatever, Hollywood musicals.
Dude, someone's gotta make something like this. I mean, yeah, like you could use this type of filmmaking and man, someone like I've never seen anything like it. That's just what I'll say.
There needs to
like,
be, I'm telling you, this needs to be what archetype for black people. And they need
Yeah.
to come to Hollywood with
Yeah.
stories like, in movies like
yeah,
this.
you can't think of anything.
I really can't. It was a good movie. It was well put together. The special effects were fun.
Because
I
it's
have to
not
just
like
say they were
it's
fun.
not like a Selma or a Lincoln where it's like it's
Oppressed.
glorifying.
I felt like
oppression.
it's always oppression, and these guys were the rebellion that won. You never see the rebellion that won. This was the rebellion that won, and you actually
you gotta
felt like
think
you were
of
on their
something
side.
that's
I can't
comes
think
close.
of not from black people. I got nothing. The Nat Turner film, but in the end they all lose anyway. Like there's nothing. This was a victorious rebellion, and it wasn't even a rebellion. They were just fighting for normal freedom. You know, it's like it's always told from the point of revolt, rebellion, but literally they were just in their own home and someone came in. In fact, they have multiple scenes where people are just chilling and all of a sudden the British just show up with guns. Like that happened like 3 times in the film. They're just chilling.
Yeah.
And they'll just pop up out of nowhere and just start just popping and shooting and put down your weapons. It's like, what?
And how many more films come out and it's like, oh, just tell the history of slaves, tell the history of
Yeah, for
America.
sure.
But it's like, how many times, like, can we get like something that's you feel catharsis, like you
Is that
feel
your favorite word now?
It's just like you heard the emotion in the theater, like regardless of how many white people.
Yeah,
were there.
no questions. They were loving it. I was loving it. I was
Yeah.
feeling it.
Yeah.
I felt every
How many of those
single
white
blood
people
drop.
know about Indian fucking oppression?
Well, now
Probably
they know.
Not,
Hey.
Yeah, not many.
And that's what I'm
but-
saying. Like, black people need films like this because it was fun. It was fun, and I wanted to be on their side. And I feel like that was just, I don't know, that was just masterfully done.
Mm.
And they could dance. I don't know if we mentioned that, but they could dance. Everyone in the film could dance.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. And it went on. I thought there was a point. Okay, we're really long into this dance scene, but there was just so many elements because they
Because
were
there was a
dancing
story.
together.
There was literally a
even
story.
just like
3 layers of story in the dance that are actually happening in the main story. It's like you
Yeah.
got the white guys who didn't like him, you got him and him as like the best friends, and you got him and the girl. And it's like first we saw him and the white guy, and the white guy even like almost joins the gang and becomes like
Well,
the
he tries
homie
to,
when
like,
they're fighting. Yeah.
challenge
And then
the guy.
the rivalry kicks off finally between those two, and then the
he-
love interest he
Well,
gives
no,
up
no.
because he
He-
sees
yeah,
the
he
girl.
gives up. Yeah, he's like,
please win.
he's like, he kind of like looks over and he's like,
And she's
okay,
like, please,
all right,
yeah, and he just takes the L.
Dude, that's a homie. That like, that's like
Bro.
brotherhood.
And on top of that, even led into the fact where he puts him on the shoulder, because remember he was carrying him during that scene too?
During the dance scene?
Yeah, right after the dance scene, remember he was carrying him again, like bro.
Yeah.
I mean, this is.
And then he's
this
like,
is
oh,
wonderful.
like, yeah.
It was literally like
home.
3 acts of the same story, well blended. Like it was just, God.
My God. What was I gonna mention?
This is what hindsight is about,
okay,
right here.
Let's even go to just the straight filmmaking, because
bro, God,
just
this is where I was trying to go.
The slow motion. Okay,
Wonderful.
so
and the camera angles were phenomenal.
So there's slow motion, and then there's certain scenes where it's like the frame rate is lower than normal, but I think it added to it in a way that I haven't seen a lot of, because you see like, you know, Marvel and DC.
What do you mean, like that quick cut where it's like stops for a second and then it picks up?
But you can see like it's not 24 frames a second. It's like, you know, maybe like 12 or whatever.
You're talking about like when the tigers are running and all this. There was like a lot of CG scenes. I felt like
there was a lot of experimenting with, and I like that because it's
putting
different,
things on the
first
2s
of all.
and putting things on the 12s and all. Yeah, 2s and 3s. I think.
Yeah, and like like the speed ramping, like you're talking about with like the fast slow.
It was wonderful. And the camera.
They just know it. They know how
to
to like make a scene hit, because like there's a movie in there where it's like it's all slow or it's like normal, but just I don't know. There was a lot of attention to detail, like about like timing wise, like you felt like certain moments like hit. I felt like it might have been hard to, especially with all the CG in there, to like make it feel super fake, but like I think the filmmaking and just like the cutting, like
it made the effects feel better. Like the speed made it almost like took away from the fact that sure, I know some of this is like CG, or like the poses. I feel like they always would hit these great poses like in the air and stuff, and it would just like freeze frame on them.
Yeah, I usually like, I'm like, okay, how did they do that? Like, I'm trying to think of like, okay, they did it this way. Wires a lot of the time.
Yeah, of course. Like when he's like jumps out the water and like stabs bro, and he's just imposed. Like,
it's a lot of that Power Rangers style filmmaking.
Yeah,
he's like, it's so exaggerated.
Yeah.
But like he like goes like 10 meters like that way, like it's like exaggerated how far he falls, like he
and just the throws and the grabs and everything. They're just like holding people in the air and running with their bodies in their hands and throwing them down and throwing them into other people.
That's what I loved about Power Rangers.
It was like loose physics in this film.
Loose physics.
And it was great though. It was like fun to watch them do these outlandish flips and oh man, it was great. But back to these camera shots, like they had so many like different kind of first person shots. Like even the tiger, they had a first person tiger shot. I have never seen that. And they had like the first person, like it wasn't even first person, it was more like camera attached to arrow, and they would have that arrow. They did that a couple times where it's like it's on the head of the arrow going like backwards. Like that was, man, there were some shots in there.
Yeah. Oh man,
there were some shots in there. Like you said, experiment.
That arrow.
He made the arrow look good. All arrow shots were good. When he shoots bro, pulls the arrow out and then stabs the next guy. Or when he shoots through the tree, doesn't quite get him, jumps and kicks it into the tree, gets him in the head. That was crazy.
And the bullet where he dodges like Ram. Is it Ram? Ram shoots the bullet, and then Beam jumps up
over the bullet
and
hits Ram. That's before he knew. He didn't know like Ram was on his side at the time. No, he didn't. Yeah. That was a full-on attack.
But he dodged it, and he knew he was gonna, like, because he wasn't aiming for him. He was aiming for...
That was literally on some like, I know you. Even though we're on opposite sides right now, I know who you are. You know what I mean? That was great, man.
But it's like, you could see the bullet very clearly. Like it wasn't confusing. Like all the
effects were on point, man. Especially like the shot ones. I feel like I could follow the action so clearly. I'll just put it like that. It'd be like boom, hit, and every hit would almost give me a pause to take in what I just saw. You know what I mean? Especially when like he was having the one-on-one fight with Ram versus Beam, like that just like when they were near the end of the first part, where they're having that one-on-one fight and everything's burning and animals are running around. And I remember like they just had like the impact shots. It'd be like hit and then pause and then hit and then pause and hit, and then it would just keep going back and forth like that. And I was like, man, like you could just follow the flow.
Every hit like felt impactful.
And man, that was
like they were like
that was so good.
They were like literal like gods. Like it's not like a punch like you see like all the time. It's like
somehow with the timing they made it feel like these guys are breaking the ground with every hit.
It is very anime in that, like Dragon Ball Z.
Like, sound effects, plus like just it was the timing. The speed ramp was really changing everything.
Yeah.
Much to learn from this film. My God.
One of the best films, honestly, I've seen.
Yeah, that was so
ever.
good.
Like in a long time.
That was so good.
Like honestly, like this is up there for me.
Yeah, that was quite nice to
I'm gonna
watch.
be like talking about this for a while, like referencing it.
I'm giving it a 10.
Yeah.
I
was gonna say 9.5 or 10, but
nah, I'm giving it a 10.
Yeah,
I can't even sell the movie short.
But honestly, like I said, like Everything Everywhere All at Once was
a 10.
It was a 10. I mean, I think I liked the message, like some of the themes in that movie a little better. Like I like
that did have a lot of themes,
time travel stuff like
but
that.
this man,
this and on the budget,
well
that
done.
was.
Yeah.
I think
I'm not comparing. I'm not comparing movies. I'm just saying.
Okay, all right. Let's not do that. Yeah.
This one was great. This one was 10, great.
For sure. I see what the hype is about.
I see what the hype is about. I wasn't even going to check this one out. This was actually your suggestion. Yeah. Well done.
I was just trusting other people's.
Gosh,
like,
flagging.
I'm sad. Yeah, I'm sad. Like, there's not a ton of screenings of this, so
it don't
if
matter.
You get a chance, see it in the theater.
Or see it on Netflix if you have to, but
maybe
don't.
Netflix is not gonna. I mean,
it may not be the greatest experience, but the story will be there if you're willing to read and deal with some loose mouth flaps.
Also,
but it was great to watch it.
You can pause it whenever you want.
The bilingual thing, I don't know, that hit right for me because I love movies that do that.
Yeah.
And I feel like not that many movies do that, but this one did.
There was probably a lot of ADR because there were still a lot of.
I saw, for sure. I noticed that 100%.
That's a very Bollywood thing, so.
But that didn't bother me. Like the film was so good, man. I didn't care about no mouth flips. You know what I mean? Like it was mouth flaps, lip flaps. That was wonderful, man. That was wonderful. Exciting from start to finish.
For Moscow, you gotta have the Amazons and other.
I don't even know what show you're talking about. Getting off topic a little bit right now.
Other faction come together, kind of like this. Anyway,
a little off topic here on the hindsight.
Oh, you don't want to spoil anything?
No, we're on a whole different, another show. Yeah, man, 10 out of 10. Great. That's all I got.
10.
What else you got? Closing comments.
I don't know what else there is to say.
I know we ran through the whole thing. It was fire. I'm missing things. That's all I can say is I know I'm missing things. That was such a good movie.
You can't reference every single
thing. So much in there. So much.
I mean, even just like every moment has meaning. The even that like the trail of blood, like every shot of their face, like you see the blood dripping down, and it's like. You feel like there's some more that it's trying to say. This is like every shot has like every time it lingers, there's meaning in this.
And this is random, but I did like those shots where they would just cut to Ram going crazy in the gym, like beating up on that boxing glove or boxer punching bag. Excuse me.
Yeah, like punching through it.
He was going crazy on it, like that was. That was crazy.
Yeah. Great acting. Everyone was solid.
And they did. That's my favorite kind of storytelling, and I feel like that's just normal for really good stuff. It's like you tell the middle, then you tell the beginning, and then you reach the end. And I don't know. I like it. That was fun. That was a fun ride. Well.
Yeah, the flashback. Yeah, like in the second part.
Yeah, that was
first
great.
part of the second.
It was great. Because he had a good backstory. That was a powerful backstory.
Yeah, his dad was, just getting mad at him for like even shooting that rifle, and then his sister telling him like, bro, like.
That wasn't his sister, that was his fiance.
Or I mean, sorry, yeah. No, was it? No,
Wasn't
that was
it?
his sister.
I thought that was his fiance. I don't know.
Wait.
Oh, maybe you're right.
See?
Sita, that's his fiance.
Because his sister, one of them got killed with his mom.
That wasn't his sister. That was his sister. I couldn't even tell.
I think
That was
so.
a boy
It was?
who got shot, and then mom stopped like.
Oh, that was his brother?
Chile. I don't know who it was. I just know somebody got popped.
Could be right, yeah.
Somebody got popped and mom stopped, and I don't know who. Yeah, I don't know who gave him the gun. I guess who knows? But he had a perfect shot.
Yeah. And again,
No.
there's a way that you could tell
Aim.
it.
Shoot.
Yeah, there's a way that you could tell it where it wouldn't be as interesting. Like him, like getting the bullseye from like a mile away. But the fact, like, just the way that that's told, the way that
You
like
shot it
you
from
shot
the rocks?
No.
He shot it from there. Oh, dang.
Yeah. People are gonna be studying this movie.
I'm gonna be studying this movie.
Yeah.
Pop that in on the flick.
This is a classic. Look for it at the Oscars at the end of the year.
We'll see. The Oscars tend to not like things that
Yeah.
say that colonial rule is bullshit, but we'll see. This had too many truths in it to maybe make it that far, but we'll see. It was fire. All right, well, 10 out of 10. See this movie, RRR. It's worth it. It's worth it. I
Yeah.
promise you. And the price is probably going to be non-existent, like $5. So definitely see this film and support, because I need more.
Yeah,
like
look
it.
for it in a theater. If it's not, just see it on Netflix. Like, do it. All right.
Yeah, fire.
Load.
Aim. Shoot. I think that's a new catchphrase. All right, we out.